Alright you guys, welcome to the Monday video. Today we're talking Milwaukee angle grinders, specifically the corded versus the battery powered angle grinder. But first I want you to think about this. What's worse than driving a Prius? I'll give you a second. Alright, so time's up. What's worse than driving a Prius? Probably not a lot, but I'd say driving a Prius that was involved in a hit and run is quite a bit worse. It's definitely been a Monday, you guys. I don't know if it's going to show up in the video, but there's actually a dent there. Thankfully, it stops at my door, and I know someone who does PDR, so I'm going to hit him up, see if he can't fix that. I wish people could just be honest. That's just a crappy deal. If you hit someone's car, leave a note. Alright you guys, so back to business for the Monday video. You can see I have all my Milwaukee tools here. We're Milwaukee fanatics here on Shift Wrench Repeat if you haven't learned that already. Today though, we're specifically talking about the battery powered non-fuel versus the corded small angle grinder, both from Milwaukee. Alright you guys, so I'm going to pick all this stuff up. We're also wearing the shirt from the Land Cruiser Museum, so just to pick you up to speed a little bit, we went to the Land Cruiser Museum in Salt Lake City, Utah, so that's where I got this. It's been a pretty eventful summer. And then we also got to visit Shelby American, so I picked up this license plate to hang in the garage back there somewhere. That's based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. If you ever get the chance, I highly recommend going there. So if you're interested in either one of these videos, be sure to check them out on the channel. Now I'm just going to pick this stuff up really quick and we'll get down to business. Alright, so pitter patter, let's get at her. Today we're working on the non-fuel cordless impact from Milwaukee, and we're going to compare it to the corded version. This is the small version. Now I'm going to give you the pros and cons of both of these tools and why I feel like you might prefer one over the other. I like having both, but you have to pick one. We're going to get to that. We've been working on the rotisserie for the twin supercharged Fox body build that we got going right here. I'm not bluffing you, hold on just a second. We got two superchargers that are going on this Fox body right behind me. Alright, so if you haven't been following that build at all, we're making a rotisserie to more easily do the body work. Some of the parts are back there. I'm not going to make 10,000 videos about that because we already have a few. Once that project is complete, I'm going to give you an informational video exactly how to set that up. Now, Shift Wrench Repeat does not yet have a plasma cutter. We've been cutting a lot of 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch steel, and we've been resorting to angle grinders. Now, I just recently did a video on the Harbor Freight angle grinders, the standard Chicago Electric versus the Professional series. Now, between those two, the Professional series is actually a decent tool. But I actually broke mine. I've had it for about 3 years. It was about 35 bucks, so it did pay for itself. But I dropped it about this high, and it quit working. I disassembled it, checked the brushes, checked all the wiring, and it just went kaput. So I got my money out of the thing, but this time I opted just to get a good one. Now, if you watch any of our other tool reviews, I always talk about buying quality blades. If you're going to buy a tool and you get the cheap one, maybe that's all you can afford, that's fine. Most of the time, they can get you by if you have quality blades. So don't go buying your cutoff wheels from Harbor Freight. I always get name brand cutoff wheels to use, and it seems to make a huge difference. Now, we're going to talk today also about using the standard cutoff wheel versus this new Metal Max from LENOX. This thing is all metal, it has diamond encrusted blades, and they say that you can get up to 1,000 more cuts per blade. Like I said, we're cutting a lot of metal to make this rotisserie, so this has been something that has been a very, very good investment. But let's unbox this guy. It's brand new, and just so you guys know, I've been using this battery powered one and eating up batteries and working slower just because I wanted to wait to unbox this for you guys. So the last week or so I've been working on the rotisserie, I've been using the battery powered tool just so we could get an official unboxing of this guy. So let's get to it. Alright, so here we go. Here's the unboxing of the Milwaukee corded angle grinder. This is the smallest one they make, but I didn't need the giant one that weighs like 50,000 pounds. So let's get this thing open. That's not supposed to. There she is, guys. Nice and shiny, and I wish they stayed like that, but they don't very long. Got the guard. Alright, so we got our guard, we got the tool itself, and if you guys are unboxing one of these like I just did, don't throw away your spanner wrench, because that's included. It's a pain in the butt if you lose these guys. I almost just threw it away with the packaging, but there we go. Alright, so here we go. You can see we got both tools in front of us. The freshly unboxed corded and the battery powered. All right, so one other thing I wanted to talk about before we get into these two angle grinders is this new LENOX disc. Like I said, this is a conventional disc. This is the diamond embedded metal disc, which claims 1,000 more cuts than these conventional discs. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I believe every bit of that. I've used the crap out of this first one. I bought 2 of them. They're about 12 bucks a piece, and you can still see some red paint on my disc. The cutting ability has not been hindered at all by the hundreds, if not thousands of cuts that I've made over the last week or so working on the rotisserie. And if you're working with something like this, one, you know that you have to change the discs out all the time. And the second thing that's kind of a pain in the butt is if you nick it on something, you end up breaking the disc and then it's junk. These, you're not gonna have that problem. So any angle grinder you buy, whatever you choose to do, you guys, I think the absolute best option for cutoff wheels is these new LENOX Metal Max cutoff discs. Like I said, you pay for them. This is about 12 bucks a piece, but they've been absolutely phenomenal. So the next thing we're gonna do is just talk about each one of these grinders, and then we're gonna compare the pros and cons, let you decide which one you should or should not buy, and then we're gonna do a little comparison test. All right, so the next thing I wanna do is just talk about each one of these different tools. While they're both angle grinders, they are different tools. So they both have their strengths and weaknesses. This corded one is going to spin much faster. This is 12,000 RPMs, and you have constant power because it's always plugged in. This guy spins at 9,000 RPMs. Again, this is the non-fuel version, but 9,000 RPMs out of this, and I've noticed it eats up batteries really quick. Now, I haven't personally owned a Milwaukee angle grinder. I've used them before, but most any angle grinder you use that's corded, just like this one, is going to give you more speed, and it's gonna have constant power, which I did notice this guy bogging down. Again, I was really abusing this thing because I've literally made hundreds of cut, you guys, and 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch steel is not easy to cut with. Ideally, you'd be doing a build like this with a plasma cutter, but I don't have one, so we're making it work. Even my Harbor Freight professional corded angle grinder handled all those cuts better than this guy did. Where this thing is gonna shine is if you're in a hard to reach spot or you're somewhere where there isn't electricity, just quick random jobs that you're gonna have, this is gonna be fantastic. I have used it in some hard to reach areas on other projects and just around the yard, you guys. If I need something, I need to go cut a bolt off quick that's stripped out or rusted off or what have you, this is absolutely fantastic. That being said, if you're really working on a big project, I think the corded is always gonna be the tool that you want to buy, solely because you have that constant power and it's not going to bog down as much. Now, this is the smallest one, so yes, you could still probably overwork this tool, but not to the same extent of this guy. In my opinion, these are made for jobs that are going to require this tool for shorter durations of time. It will do it, but you're going to go through batteries and you're going to have to deal with the tool bogging down. And trust me, you can definitely feel it, especially when you're working it as hard as we have been. So in that respect, I think if you had to get just one, I would stick to the corded guy. Now, there is a fuel version. I don't know the exact RPM spec on that. I did think of it, but it was like $280 for that kit, and I already have one that's gonna give me the convenience of a battery angle grinder when I need it. So this one was about $65. This just made way more sense. Like I said, I think this is the tool that you're gonna be most happy with most of the time. Now we're gonna do a little comparison test just to show you the difference. I think this is about as fair of a test as a battery versus corded angle grinder can be. I just want to show you the difference of this guy getting a little overworked and this guy cutting with ease. Now, for the sake of this test, we're going to be using the same disc on both because this one has some use and this one is brand new. I'm going to be using the LENOX Metal Max disc, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Again, if you haven't tried these, they're well worth the money. So first, we're going to use the used one in this. We're going to make 2 cuts on this piece of steel right here, one with this guy and one with this guy. So let's get rolling. Alright you guys, so there you have it. There's the battery powered Milwaukee angle grinder versus the corded angle grinder. Like I said, personally, if you're going to pick one or the other, you can only buy one. I would buy the corded one. It just cut the same little piece of steel about 20 seconds faster than the battery did, and that's with a fully charged battery. As you go, that battery is going to die, it's going to cut even slower. So it's still, I'm not bashing this tool, it's still a good tool. I'm still glad I have one, that's why I bought it. It has its place. Like I said, if you're working in tight spaces, it's inconvenient to have a cord, that is a great tool. And it's amazing that battery power has come as far as it has. So I'm not knocking that tool at all. I love both of these tools, and I hope this helps you guys make an informed decision. As always, you guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your support. If you haven't been following any of our rotisserie for the twin supercharged Fox body build, or recently our mini series that's coming up on the Avalon before it meets its death at the junkyard, I'll drop a clip of that right here. But if you haven't been watching any of that, you guys, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell button so you're notified every time we upload a video. Thank you guys so much for your support. It really means a lot to me to see the channel grow. It's just a cool thing to do, and I hope I can keep making cool content like this for you guys. So again, thanks for watching. Shift, Wrench, Repeat uploads every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.